What does this mean for the rest of the season? For the Pittsburgh Steelers. What does this mean for the rest of the season for the Cleveland Browns? The Miz sent me a text this morning. The Miz sent me a text this morning. I believe we have his quote, hopefully, on a graphic card. Really good work on that, D-Bone. Easy to read there. Before game, your thought is, if we lose out, we could get Shador. After the game, we are not mathematically out of the playoffs. That was the text I got from the Miz this morning. And I assume that's how all Browns fans are feeling, especially after beating the Steelers. You beat the Steelers, that's a huge win at home in primetime in front of the whole world.
So I don't know all that needs to happen for the Browns to actually make the playoffs, but it does kind of feel like a monumental win. Like, where were you when the Browns beat the Steelers in that crazy snow game on Thursday night?
Yeah, going to get reference. I think Prime will probably showcase that game in all their commercials going forward because it just doesn't happen often. That was a full – I mean, it looked like your TV stunk. At one point. You couldn't see shit. That's in the modern era that we're in with how good technology is. Like, I don't know if you can see from these cameras. It's coming down really good right now.
Oh, yeah.
It is coming down really. We're having to cover this stuff. We might have it a full electrical failure over here with how hard it is raining. But with cameras, you can't really see it much anymore.
Yeah.
Snow was just so thick. You had to see it. They had to deal with it. Couldn't see the field goal going through. This is a historic game in the football's history. Even, like, you remember Shady McCoy, remember?
Oh, yeah.
When he went
Yes. Yeah, you do remember
You remember these games. These are the type of games that you remember. And if you're the Cleveland Browns, you're happy that you're on the right side of it, even though the Steelers certainly could have won it.
Yeah, did you ever play, like, in any of these games? This made me think of 2007, I believe, playoff game against the Seattle Seahawks. We had, it might have been a different year, when I was in Green Bay, and we had a crazy game where, like, the last 3 quarters, it looked like this. And the whole place, it was one of those times where it snows and it actually feels warm. There's no wind, it's snowing, and you look around and you're like, this is like a magical experience. And that's what I felt watching this game last night. And the fact that the Browns had so many fans there, too, that stuck it out was pretty impressive.
A lot of people dressed like seats early in that game. It seemed like up in the top row, 2-8 team, Thursday Night Football, but then it filled up.
Yep.
And the weather got worse, and they stayed. And I think it's because of how good the game was. And shout out to Jameis Winston, his first ever game in that cold of temperature, and all the speeches he gave last night. Obviously, we just showcased his lights, camera, action speech. But the horses are ready for war, Connor.
But the Lord will lead. But we are the Lord, or the Lord will take us. I don't know. Everything he says is electric. Like, that game just talking about, that was my favorite game of the year. Something about football in the snow, for one, and then also being in Indiana, having a nice little flurry on the ground as well. You look outside, there's snow. You look on the TV, there's snow, and you can barely see it. And just the physicality of it. Some of those games we talk about, you want points, you want all that stuff, but having Myles Garrett, having TJ Watt, having Cam Hayward kind of going to war in the middle of the field is so fun. And to your point about the snow games, for New England Patriots fans, obviously 6 Super Bowls over the Belichick-Brady era, the Vinatieri game winner against Oakland in the playoffs, I would argue, is ranked even above like the last Rams Super Bowl, where it was 13-3, kind of like a punt war between Ryan Allen and Hecker. That snow game kind of feel to it. It's just different. And for Jameis Winston, like him even post-game after just talking about the entire thing at his press conference, the way his brain works is so awesome, because he was on the nightcap and they actually like went through all of his pregame speeches, and he was laughing watching them himself. Like, even he realizes, like, what the hell was I talking about right there? Like, the lights, camera, action shit. It is so funny. Jameis needs to be, playing football forever, of course. But can you imagine what that guy will bring to like a booth if he were to decide to call a game? I mean, the electricity is endless when it comes to Jameis Winston. And yeah, of course, doing snow angels with all the guys, it's so fun and zany. And then Tony Gonzalez, unfortunately, though, he did not jump in with the entire crew. But there's just something about snow football. Well, yeah. It's different. It's better.
Tony's wearing, full metal or full winter jacket like in September in some places.
Yeah. True.
October.
Yeah, he's not doing snow angels.
Yeah, right? he is not in there. I like the fact that he did do a snow angel face Dahn. This guy's never been around it. He's never done it before. And then I think he looked over at Whit. Hey, Whit was like, flip over there. It's Jameis is fun, man. He is. He's super positive. Obviously, he hasn't been like a perfect football player in the NFL since making it, but the way he views life, the way he talks about things, and what he was saying anytime a microphone was in front of his face last night in primetime, football needed that. We needed
how he was looking when the pregame, when he was just taking the whole everything in. Like, It felt very like authentic. It felt like original. I don't think you could act like this if this isn't who you were.
You have said you don't become a Brown until you beat the Steelers. What will it take tonight?
Good question.
The horse is prepared for battle, but victory comes from the Lord.
Boom.
So I'm dependent on the Lord.
What will it take?
Is that the message to the team?
Day by day, one play at a time. That's the message.
Weather conditions tonight. We're expecting winds up to 15 miles per hour in a wintry mix. How will that impact your ability to throw the ball?
Yeah, it is.
I'm so happy and grateful that the Lord has blessed me to play in some snow, to be in true football weather in Cleveland, Ohio, at Huntington Bank Field today to give him the glory. It's a beautiful day.
Sure feels like you're playing in the AFC North.
It is.
That's
it's magical.
right,
Thank you.
Great interview by Kaylee. What a response there by Jameis. Just, hey, what's your mindset on everything? You know, like, I think Tom Brady has talked multiple times about when they're in a situation, what his mindset is, how he has to view something. Like when they were down 28-3, I think the way he viewed it was an opportunity to do something that was special. When most people would say we're out, it's all in your mindset and your framing. For Jameis, he had heard everybody talking about, hey, this is the first time you're going to play in cold. You could tell that he had rehearsed that thought whenever she started asking that question. He's like, good question. Everybody wants to know. I am so lucky that I get to experience this, and I'm going to have this on my resume forever. What a beautiful football game, football weather. With that being said, if it was in a dome, I think it'd be a good game too.
You think?
Yeah. I think it would have been a good game too. We wouldn't have had the electricity of the snow. And Myles Garrett's interview afterwards, whenever it was the snow around him, you know, and they're all celebrating. And he said, I got a lot of respect for the guy on the other side, TJ. I got a lot of respect for all the edge rushers. Yeah, here it is. Here's what Myles Garrett had to say afterwards about the game he just put on.
Snow makes it better. Tonight, and if so, what was said?
I mean, we spoke of the coin toss, but that's about it. You know, like I said, I got a lot of respect for him, a lot of respect for, you know, all the guys over there, and you know, the edge rushers in the league. But I'm number one, and no, that's from edge defender one, edge one to defensive player of the year. I'm the guy. So that runs through me. There's no other person being defended as I am or schemed or planned against like I am. So this goes to show, you know, you can throw that out the window. I'm gonna find a way.
That's Neo, brother. I am the one. How'd you feel about that, AJ?
I mean, I guess he's got an argument there. You can't really argue with him when you talk about like elite edge rushers. But yeah, we know like Myles Garrett's awesome. TJ Watt is awesome. They both can be amazing, right?
Yeah, but Myles Garrett.
But there's this whole thing now, though, between them two.
As there should, which I appreciate and I respect. You know, a lot of people hang out, have a good time. And I think the Watt family came out and said, we got a lot of respect for Myles Garrett over here. Jade said that on Wednesday about the whole thing. But I like the fact that they're not like buddy-buddy. You know, I like that they are competing. And I like the fact that he appreciates that, hey, I'm the top guy, and Teach thinks the exact same thing. I like that.
I think it's awesome. Any kind of like rivalry in the NFL is great, but this is also something that'll be cool. They can duke it out for however many more years in the NFL, and then 15 years from now, they're going to be good
running
buddies
camps.
probably.
Yeah, running camps.
Teaching kids, hey, you want to wreck shop like we did? Here we go.
And just making all the money in the world.